Was a midnight park really something to fear? He thought it was just a prank from his friends, meeting after midnight at the old fairground that had been shut down for over 10 years. Everyone in town whispered about it, how the place was cursed after the accident, but he never believed in that kind of thing. The gate was sealed with a rusty chain, but as he came closer, it was already swaying in the wind as if waiting just for him. He hesitated for the first time. His friends weren't the type to go to this much effort. And yet, here it was, open, calling him inside. The air was thick, heavy, carrying the taste of rust and rotten candy floss. The kind of sweetness that had gone sour long ago, sticking to the back of his throat. Silence pressed against his ears, broken only by a faint metallic clang. Somewhere deeper in the park, a carousel horse seemed to creak on its own. He stepped inside. The asphalt beneath his shoes was cracked, grass sprouting through the splits like skeletal fingers. Old soda cans and torn tickets littered the ground, fossilized memories of nights filled with laughter and neon lights. Now all that joy was gone, swallowed by the dark. Broken lamps flickered in the distance, glowing in pairs, like eyes watching him. He adjusted his hoodie, trying to shake off the chill running down his neck. "Hello? Are you here?" he called out, his voice sharp against the void. Only hollow echoes answered back. The park seemed to breathe. The air shifted, carrying with it the faint smell of burned plastic or maybe old fireworks. He pulled his phone out, its cold glow the only thing cutting through the darkness. Step by step he moved deeper. The shadows of ruined attractions stretched long and thin across the ground. The Ferris wheel loomed against the moonlight, a silent giant, its seats swaying as if something invisible had just climbed aboard. He froze when a crunch echoed behind him. His chest tightened. He spun around, but there was nothing. Just the empty gate, rocking gently as if mocking him. The phone buzzed in his hand. A message. "We're inside. Come find us." Relief washed over him, but only for a second. The number wasn't saved in his contacts. No name, no picture. Just the text, glowing cold on the screen. He typed back quickly, "Where exactly?" No reply. He shoved the phone into his pocket, his pulse beating faster. Maybe it really was his friends messing with him. Maybe they wanted him to be scared. Well, it was working. The fairground stretched ahead like a labyrinth. Rides twisted into strange shapes, booths collapsed into heaps of splintered wood and torn fabric. His shoes crunched glass with every step. He could almost hear voices in the wind, children laughing, the echo of carnival barkers yelling prizes, but it was only his imagination. At least he hoped it was. Then, faintly at first, music began to play. A carousel tune. Slow. Warped. Out of key. He gripped his phone tighter. "All right, guys, very funny," he muttered, though his voice was thinner now. The music grew louder. He followed it, drawn and repelled all at once, until he reached the carousel. The horses were frozen mid-gallop, their paint chipped, their eyes glassy and dead. Yet the platform turned, groaning on rusty gears as if someone had just pulled the lever. And on one of the horses a figure sat. Still. Watching. His breath caught in his throat. "Who's there?" The carousel slowed to a stop. The figure remained motionless, its head tilted slightly. The shadows hid its face. Step by step he approached, each one heavier than the last. His heart hammered against his ribs, each beat echoing in his ears. Then, a crack of static. His phone screen lit up again. A new message. "Closer." His hand shook. The figure on the horse shifted, just slightly, as though it had heard the message too. "Enough of this," he whispered to himself. He turned to leave, but the way back looked different. The gate was gone. The path twisted, warped, as if the whole park had shifted while he wasn't looking. The carousel lights flickered, flaring red for an instant. And in that flash, the horse he had been staring at was empty. The figure was gone. He spun around, breath shallow, panic rising. His phone slipped from his hand and hit the ground with a dull crack. When the screen lit up again, words appeared across it, written as though someone was typing from the shadows. "Don't leave. We've been waiting." A whisper brushed his ear, cold as steel. "Welcome back." His breath steamed in the air as he stumbled backward, eyes darting in every direction. The whisper still clung to him, as if the voice hadn't come from the wind but from right beside his ear. The phone flickered, the message still glowing. "We've been waiting." "Who's we?" he muttered, his voice breaking. His pulse throbbed in his throat. He forced himself to pick the phone up again, though the screen was cracked like a spiderweb. This time, instead of a reply, the carousel behind him creaked back to life. The horses began to move again, slowly, their hollow eyes glinting in the dark. And then he heard it, footsteps. Not one, not two. A group. All right, enough, he yelled. I know you're here. The footsteps circled him unseen. The sound of crunching gravel, whispers slithering just out of sight. His phone buzzed once more. A new message. Turn around. He froze. Every nerve in his body screamed at him not to look. And yet, slowly he turned. There they were. 4 figures standing in the shadows between the rides. Faces hidden beneath porcelain masks. Cracked, emotionless, like carnival prizes warped by time. They didn't move. They just stared. Who are you? He demanded, his voice cracking. What do you want from me? The one in front tilted their head, mask catching the light of his phone. In the hollow silence, a distorted voice spoke, not from the mask itself but from the speaker of his phone. You came back. Just like we knew you would. His skin went cold. Back? I've never been here before. The masked figure stepped closer in perfect unison. He stumbled backward until his shoulder hit cold metal, the frame of the Ferris wheel. The great wheel loomed above him and to his horror, its rusted gears began to grind. Lights that hadn't glowed in 10 years flickered awake, bathing the park in sickly colors. One of the masked figures raised a hand. The Ferris wheel groaned and the seats began to move. Chains rattled. Something was being lowered. He squinted. A cage. Inside it, a figure was curled up, motionless. His stomach dropped. Someone else was here. Someone trapped. He took a step forward, instinct driving him to help, but the masked leader blocked his way. The phone buzzed again. Another message. First you play. Then you earn the truth. What the hell does that mean? His voice was raw now, caught between fear and anger. The reply came instantly, glowing across the cracked screen. Rules are simple. Survive the night. Or join the others. The Ferris wheel creaked, spinning slowly, the cage swaying in the air like bait. The trapped figure raised their head just enough for him to see wide, terrified eyes staring back at him. He clenched his fists, heart pounding so hard it hurt. Whoever these masked people were, they had planned everything. The open gate. The messages. Even the cage. And he realized, with a chill crawling through his bones, this wasn't just a prank. This was a setup. For him. The words, "Survive the night," echoed in his mind as he stared at the glowing screen. His throat tightened, but instead of fear, something colder began to settle inside him. Anger. They thought he was prey. They thought he would just run, beg, and scream. Not tonight. He glanced up at the Ferris wheel. The cage creaked, swaying higher, the terrified figure inside pounding weakly against the bars. The masked leader tilted their head again, waiting for him to obey. But instead he smiled. You made one mistake, he said quietly, more to himself than to them. You think I don't remember you. The leader froze ever so slightly. The others exchanged glances. Oh, I remember, he continued, stepping forward now instead of back. Years ago. That night. The alley. You thought I wouldn't survive. You left me bleeding, broken. But I did survive. And I never forgot your masks. The porcelain faces didn't move, but he could feel the tension shift. They hadn't expected him to know. The Ferris wheel groaned louder and the cage lowered suddenly, slamming onto the ground. The masked figures twitched, confused for the first time. Because he wasn't supposed to be in control. But he had planned this. He pulled a small black device from his pocket. One they hadn't noticed when they lured him here. He pressed a button, and the park's silence shattered. Every abandoned speaker hidden in the fairground roared to life, blasting a distorted recording. Their voices unmasked from years ago. The taunts, the laughter, the violence. The very proof of what they had done to him. The masked leader staggered back, head snapping around as the sound bounced across the park. How? I rebuilt this park, he cut in, voice sharp as steel. You thought it was rotting away. But every step you took tonight, every move, every message you sent me, I let it happen. I wanted you here. The lights flickered, brighter now, illuminating cameras mounted across the rides. The entire fairground was watching them. Recording them. The trapped figure crawled from the cage, unharmed, just another part of his trap. An ally, not a victim. One by one, the masked figures began to panic, trying to run. But the gates they had left open now clanged shut with a heavy lock. There's no way out, he said. His voice wasn't angry anymore. It was calm, final. Tonight you don't hunt me. Tonight you pay. The Ferris wheel roared to full speed, lights blazing like fire. The carousel horses spun wildly, their broken jaws gaping in the light. The park came alive, a nightmare carnival built for them. Screams pierced the air as the masked figures realized the roles had reversed. He watched them scatter, no longer the predators, but the prey inside his twisted arena. And for the first time in years his chest felt lighter. Revenge wasn't just about survival. It was about closure. And tonight, the fairground finally got what it was waiting for.